Okay, so continuing to the next part of this. So we have already created the metal material. After creating the metal material, we have given the color, the red color layer, and then created the mask, and then we have given the effects, painted on top of it, and then the grunge mask, and then mask editor. So till here we have completed, and the next thing is we need to give height little bit. So whatever the layer over here for the paint, we need to select that layer. After selecting the layers, we need to get to the channels. So the channels is base, metallic, roughness, metallic, normal. So we need to get to this height, and then we need to give height. So already 0.05 height is given over here. So if we're going to increase it, we can give it more, and then we can also give it the negative value. That's it. So how do you are getting the height? The metal, the basic metal texture we have given in the bottom. If I close everything, so this is the metal, and then the filter is applied over here, the matte finish roughness, and then the fill layer, new fill layer, and that fill layer is having this color, roughness adjusted accordingly. And if I zero this out back, and then created the mask. After creating the mask, given the generator metal HVR, because of this you are getting this effect, and then grunge fill layer applied with the grunge, or this grunge dusty scratch, so you can find out this texture over here. And then we have created the paint layer. So after creating the paint layer, we can have this texture, so we can get to the brush, and then we can search for the dirt brush, then dirt brush 2, and then you're heading this brush, and then you can paint on top of it. Now we are not having the height, so for creating the height, simply you need to click on this, the main fill layer, and then increase the height little. So a tip over here is, if you are moving your slider, it will going to give you a effect which will be the number which will be more than enough. So what we need to do, simply press shift and then move your slider, left click and drag to the right, to the left, so precisely you will be able to give that effect. So 0.1, so this is the effect we have given, so you can adjust according to your need. So I'll give it as 0.005 or 0.002. You can increase it more, 0.009. I think this is also less, so 0.0 0.1. Okay, 0.1 is fine. So 0.1 is fine, and then this is done with it. Now on top of it, what we need to do, we need to give more effect, and this the thing is simple. You need to create the fill layers, and then after creating the fill layer, you need to create the mask, so it should affect the part, not completely, some of the part, and then we can create the paint layer, and then creating the fill layer, applying the mask on top of it. Okay, and then applying the generator. Same way you can create this and then create the textures. So now moving to the next part, that is again creating the fill layer. Back and forth you need to create the fill layers in Substance. So after creating the fill layer, you're not able to see anything, the texture which we have created, so we need to apply mask, apply the mask. Now moving to this fill layer, we need to apply something to the base that is related to the rust. So we can search over here, rust, get to the material. So this is the rust code. So I need this rust fine. Click and drag on the base color. So you are getting this, and then mask is already applied. If you disable this mask by pressing shift and then click on top of it, the texture of the rust is available, but we don't want to see completely, so we're going to avoid this, and then we will going to minimize it, so some of the parts should be visible. So what we need to do, we need to apply a small generator. So either you can apply the generator simply while getting over here, and then metal edge, so something will be in front of us, see, but we don't want this kind of effect, so we can remove it. And then simply what we need a mask, alpha channel mask. Okay, so if I get to this smart mask, and then we can find out related to the rust only, so we can apply any of these. So edge rust, rust, so if I apply this surface rust and then click, directly on that mask. So you're getting little something, right? And then you can edit what kind of balance you wanted. Okay. And then if I come to the edge rust, so after applying the edge rust, what we got automatically smart layers over here. Mask editor, one more mask editor, and then grunge rough. So depend on the smart mask, it will going to give you more and more layers. So this is the mask editor in front of us. So edge rust means you need to apply the rust on the edges. So if I click on this mask editor and then if I increase the global balance, see, we are increasing something. Now, sometime you're not able to see the effect over here. So the tip for here is you need to change it, this color into the mask. So how you can do it? Either you can press Alt and then click, you can see the availability of that mask, and then you can get back to this mask editor and then you can edit it, the effect of that rust on top of your texture. So you can see I'm moving it, something is going. So I think this way it will be easier to find out the mark, but you will not be able to see the color. Then moving to the next, adjust it, global balance, the contrast, the sharpness, and then grunge roughness, the amount of balance you want to show. And then again, you're not going to click Alt and then left click on top of it because already we in the mask. So simply press M to get back to the materials. So now after getting to the materials, you can rotate your model. Okay, we're getting something over here. See, that is related to the rust only. I think you can disable it. See, because of rust we are getting it something over here. So because of this rust we are having it. And then if you want to increase more rust, we can get to the grunge and then increase the balance over here. So now we are getting more rust. So we are done with this rust layer also. Now tweaking can be done, there is no limit. Now on top of it we need to create a dirt layer. Okay, so we need to get into this generator, add generator, and then simply selecting this dirt. As soon as you are applying this dirt, you can see you are getting a kind of dirt over here, but this is showing you as that this rubber pipe is giving you the kind of shadows. Because of this shadows we are getting the rust. You can see by pressing Alt, left click, see, and then selecting this dirt, turn it off, see, and then the level of the dirt you can select it, the dirt contrast, and then grunge amount, and then scaling also, and then again pressing M back to the material. But now one thing we need to find out over here, that as soon as we have applied the dirt, we are not able to see the grunge rough which we have already applied. So what we can do over here, either we can select it and then multiply it. So now we can see, okay, both the layers are visible. So depending on the blending modes also, you can change it. Now see, we are having more effect over here. So selecting the dirt and then decrease the dirt level over here. And then contrast also. We need to check back and forth what is going on. I think not that much of effect, so we can change it from linear to multiply only, or to the normal if what happened. The effect gone, I think we need to increase it, that level. Now we are getting it. Multiply, okay, this is getting multiply. So this is the effect we are getting. I think multiply is fine. We're getting the both effect. Okay, we are done with it. Now on top of it, one more layer. If you're not satisfied, completely make it. See, now with the help of this dirt, we can add more details. With the help of this grunge also, we are having it more. So now because of this generator we have applied something, and then the last layer will be related to the paint layer. So we can get to the paint, and then with the help of the brush we can paint on top of it. Simply the layer is selected, the paint, and see, this is the kind of thing you are getting it. Already the brush was selected, dirt to brush was selected. Change the lighting condition, and then over here you can paint it, and then get to the brushes also. If I get to the brush, cross it, and then you can select any kind of brush. So if I get to this brush, see, you can paint it, and then move to the bottom part. In the white, we're giving something. In the black, we are removing something. Coming to the mid part, little bit of effect. Little bit of effect. Give it completely effect. Change the light, and then increase the size, decrease the flow, and then little bit of grunges manually you can give it. Then you can rotate your brush also. Press Ctrl, left click, and then drag to the top, changing the brush orientations. Okay, fine with it. So we have created on top of it this brush layer, and then the details are already with us. So now I think now moving to the last part, that is creating the rough layer, height, and then leaks. So again, creating this layer and then renaming it as roughness. Applying the mask, that is for sure, we need to do it. And then back to this layer. So this channel, this layer complete will be related to the roughness. So simply what we need to do, we need to enable this rough channel only. So simply we're going to disable all the channels, color, metal, normal, height. So simply Alt, left click on top of it, click it, and then this is enabled. So now we can control the roughness of this. So now as we can see, we have created the, I think I've created the fill layer only. Fine, we are having the color over here. Disabling it, okay, fine. But I think we are not able to edit the roughness. Nothing is going on. So we need to check it. What happened? Delete it again, and then create again. Select the rough. I think by mistake I have created the fill layer. So if you are creating the not fill but the paint, if you are creating the, because the options are same, and then applying the roughness, nothing is going. Okay, because that is related to the paint. So I can paint on top of it. See, we are painting the roughness, but we don't want to paint the roughness. So if you want to paint something, you can paint it, but we don't want to paint it. So we're going to remove this, and then we're going to create the paint layer, selecting this roughness. Now we can adjust the roughness. So it should not be that much of reflected, the environment should not get reflected in the cylinder. I think 0.4 something. So we're getting some roughness, and then applying the mask also, black mask. Now after applying the black mask, we need to search for the grunge. So we need to apply the fill. Because of this fill, we will be able to apply that grayscale image that is known as the texture. So that texture will be over here. So 007, if I type it, okay, we are getting something. Grunge map 007, we are getting accurate that thing only. And then we can apply. So as soon as you're applying something over here, you can see a kind of little bit of effect on your model over here. So now we can increase the balance or decrease the balance, and then the contrast over here, and then the brush pattern also something. Okay. So now you can see something is going to happen over here. So if I increase the roughness over here and then back to this grunge, you can see something is happening. So created the fill layer, adjusted the roughness, and then applying the mask. After applying the mask, created the fill layer from here, and then on that fill layer we have applied the grayscale image, that is grunge map 007. So we have created something related to the roughness also. We have controlled the roughness. See, a lot of roughness was there, but after applying this, now we are getting the roughness because of this grunge map only. So we can see the mask also. Okay, and then because of this mask, then we can adjust it, the amount of roughness you wanted, you can randomly change it, right? Okay, so we're done with it. And then the next layer will be, this was for the roughness, this was for the rust, rename it. And then roughness, and then one more layer will be for the height. No, I think height, we need to give height. And then same thing, we need to apply the mask, we need to get the fill layer, and then getting to the this channel, we need to enable only height. We need to play with the height. Now after applying this mask and then giving this fill layer, already having the grayscale, so we need to search something related to the spots, P and W. So it will going to search in the textures, and then spot 3, spot 2. So if I click and drag the spot on this, nothing is affected. But now what we need to do, we need to get back to this height, and then we need to increase it little, the height level. See, now the bump over here, we are getting something density, we are getting, see, some density we have created, a thick density heavy cylinder in front of us. So now coming to the height, and then we can adjust the balance. Well, I think the balance default is fine. We don't want to increase the contrast, no need to create the sharpness. We are done with it. Okay, so almost we have done. And then the last thing for this cylinder will be simple. Again, create the failure. We need to create the leaks because this environment, this object may be in some kind of environment, so maybe a kind of dirt, of paint or spots, splashes of paint we can create on top of it. So creating the paint leaks, and then applying the mask, and then same fill, and then we need to search for leak, Leak. Now if you are pressing this S also, it will going to change. So leak, we need to find for the leak. So lots of leaks are there. So if I get to this crunch leak, large or small, okay, if I get to this, you're getting it right. And then simply decrease the balance. We don't want to increase the balance. See, now we are getting some kind of spots on top of it, a paint. Then increase the contrast or decreasing as you want. And then click on this false, everything, flip. Now some of the parts are getting the paint. Okay. So I think this small things we're going to add to the details. So we're done with it. So we have created the rust and then given the heights. Okay. So in the next lecture we will going to complete this part, right? So we are done with the cylinder. Okay, thank you.